I would say that the first intervention that explained too much for me in the role of the museums to as a safe and carer space, and I think that maybe my intervention, thank you, can be somehow linked to this to these themes. I want to talk to you about one of our last project related to the accessibility at MAXXI, called Mixed Museum for All. It's a research project dedicated to deepen and understanding the architecture of MAXXI designed by Zaha Hadid. That is a main challenge for all the museum visitors because his structure is very difficult to catch at the first time that you can inside the museum, and it's also very disorientating. So this project tried to help all the visitors at MAXXI to understand where they are, obviously, but also how the building has been designed. And to do that, we ask help to deaf people and people visually impaired. So what you are looking at is a phygital itinerary based on a website, a dedicated website, and a tactile itinerary inside the museum galleries, articulated in 11 areas. A very brief premise. We tried to skip, obviously, old models of disability approach. So we tried not just to keep in mind the social model of disability. Maybe you all know the difference between a charity and medical approach for which the problem is the person, the deficit. So the person should be healed. And then the social approach that individualizes the problem, not in the person, but in the environment. This is very important, but what changed from this approach to the last one, the emancipatory model, is the role of the people with disability involved in the project. So they are accountable for their experience, they are engaged of the objects, of the goals of the project, as the claim of the International Association for Disabled People, nothing on us without us. So we try to move from the idea of accessibility to the new multisensory learning and design strategies towards a universal design. And we started from a very simple but meaningful premise, that is that what is represented in museum can change the stereotypes, because museums preserve for the social community, it is related to the things that are valuable. So the representation of disabled people inside the museum are very few, and they are unperceived as people inside the museum, and this is obviously a problem. So the starting goals were to trying to develop MAXXI architecture as a social and relational object, mapping sensorial barriers in the museum space, involving new voices, starting from those of deaf people and visually impaired people, and empowering their participation. We try to enhance the role of these people as active player and co-creation of cultural contents, not just the final users of these productions. And so we try to develop a positive disability representation through personal narrative inside the museum galleries. Through which strategies we tried to develop also the personal skills of those people, developing through workshops and activities their expertise about the architecture. People with disabilities are the only expert of their proper conditions, so we can't make accessibility without them. But they also have to develop contents about objects and spaces that they don't have when they start the project. So what we co-created contents about the architecture, and we tested with them text, models, maps, tactile reliefs. With the deaf people, we built, we invented the video guides in Italian sign language and international signs, starting from choosing which kind of contents the deaf people are interested in, because are really, really different, the needs of the deaf people from those of the visually impaired people. And then after this first institutional level of contents, all the participants develop personal stories about the architecture and their own perception of it. Which were the outputs, a three-level kind of contents, institutional, personal, and social, because every person that comes to MAXXI and make the itinerary can share it on the social wall of the platform dedicated to the project, a physical path inside the galleries, and a dedicated website and an app that you can use to browse the 11 areas through beacon sensors. So the contents come to you while you are visiting the museum. This is one of the pages. As you can see, each content has been translated in different strategies. Videos, text, subtitles, voiceover, to let people understand each content through their personal, not just sense, but also preferred learning strategy. The content has been organized through lists for the people, for the blind people, and through maps for the deaf community, because obviously owning visual language, they are used to organize contents in a visual way. These are views of the galleries. And as you can see, we built area on which people can stay, relax, rest, and discover the contents. You are looking at the model on the urban context of the MAXXI building. This is, for example, the area in gallery number 1, where it's possible to discover the compositional process that Zahadi developed to design MAXXI, which models of different kind, texture, materials, and also stages in the building of the project. In the galleries, we have maps, we have captions in English, Italian, and Braille, and we have these little videos in which you can see the deaf mediators narrating to you the space at MAXXI. These are all images of the areas. It was really important, the ongoing evaluation, because the evaluation process during all the project let us understand what we were missing and which kind of added projects we could probably initiate it. For example, the blind people said to us, be phygital, don't let the digital takes control. We want to touch everything, every time it's possible to do it, and also we don't want to miss the human factor. So we want people dedicated to the visit that accompany us, welcome us, and let us see the museums. And also they said to us, we are not digital illiterate, so designed tools that are easy but open. Completely different the things that asked to us the deaf community. I should probably sum up them with the claim deaf pride, recognize our cultural identity. When we started this project during the lockdown, the Italian Sign Language was not yet recognized by the Italian state. So they tried to use this project, because MAXXI is a national museum, as a tool to make not just the community, but also the politics understanding the importance to recognize this language. as you probably know, deaf people don't think of themselves as disabled people, but as a minority language community, and they has a proper own culture. Through the relationship with these people, so we added a series of outputs. First of all, training courses for all the staff, starting from the assistants, the gallery assistant. They developed a basic skill in Italian Sign Language, and then also a training course about the correct way of welcome blind people, because as they always said to us, we don't need to be touched to be oriented. Please don't play with our guide dogs, and so on. In 2021, the deaf community has chosen MAXXI for the World Day of the Deaf, and I have to say that they feel really home from the project on. They invited the World Federation of the Deaf to see and visit MAXXI itinerary, and they are used to come and return with families to see it. The path, the itinerary, the digital phygital itinerary has become a signage accessible to all the visitors, so they come, stay, and use daily these instruments, schools, families, and also elderly people. And the narrators of MAXXI has become museum, I would say, educators, because they are used to accompany other disabled people to see the exhibitions, but also other visitors without disabilities. We also asked our narrators to take part to the training courses, MAXXI Know-how, about the accessibility. So they have become the teachers during these courses. We evaluated on the basis of the ILFA GLOS, Global Learning Goals, the project, through the 4P, people, places, partnerships, and policies. Why people? Because they has become the pivotal part of this project. They were the active player and the really protagonists. Places, because the museum developed more accessible places for all the visitors through a new system of signage. Partnerships, because the museum built wide and strength partnerships with the main association for the disabled people rights. And then policies, because we maybe, I hope so, gave a contribution to the national policies on the public use of Italian Sign Language, but also has changed the policies inside the museum, because the budget of the Public Engagement Office has been doubled from the project on, and we finally engaged with the PNRR MIC project for an important amount of funds. The general outcomes was obviously addressing the cultural invisibility of disabled people in the museum narratives. And here I would like to link the colleagues that have spoken before me. We do believe that the museum is a meaningful semantic frame in which what has been exhibited can change the way in which the communities look at it. So we wanted to let the people with disability be represented inside the museum through their own personal point of view, choosing what to say and how to say it. After curators, directors, artists, we invited them to take part to the museum's representation. We felt that the museum narration has been widened, involving new voices, and from the project on, we have chosen co-design and participation as a permanent strategy. We know that means, it's a huge effort in terms of resources, time, competence, and skills you have to develop. But this strategy reduce the error and mistakes, and also the risk of, think to be accessible but not reaching really it. So the accessibility has started orienting the museum's policies and cultural strategies to global audience-centered approaches, contributing to the development of the museum social impact and relevance. Thank you.